Hi guys, you all know me as TNPcast, Wolf Noise, Zach, or a collection of other names. But back in the day, I was known as Will Scurvy Rat in Pirates of the Caribbean Online. Myself and everyone else in the community were devastated when Disney decided to shut it down all those, back in 2013, I think it was. And we've been waiting for a remake ever since then. I mean, Toontown got one almost instantly, so it would make sense that Pirates Online would get one very quickly, wouldn't it? But I've seen the projects come and go. Like, every few months, one will cancel and a new one will just come into existence. But recently, we've all been focusing on The Legend of Pirates Online because they're the only game to release a public alpha. They're the only ones to actually have a large amount of, well, relatively large amount of work. But considering the project has been around since 2013-2014, they've accomplished surprisingly little. JohnnyDaPirate, the head of the project, is a 14-year-old who is not qualified in any way to run a project that should be big, but as it turns out, they only have a couple developers who do actual work. If one of their own, be it the guy who funds their project or the guy who develops their project, if they do anything that Johnny doesn't like leak code, speak out against him, speak for someone like Pearson Wright, then they're sacked. Part of the reason the project has taken so long is because of that. They've fired developers and funders, and those are kind of two things you need for a project like this. I remember back when Johnny first became popular, a few years ago, before TLOPO was really like an organized thing. He used to make small videos on his channel, 20 to 30 seconds long, and they were just news about different projects that were based off of Pirates Online, whether they be an exact remake or a game based loosely off of it. He kept the community together for a few years, and I acknowledge that. He did pretty good. But as soon as TLOPO came about, I want to say he stopped caring. He went around trying to buy up Facebook and YouTube pages offering alpha keys that he would invalidate as soon as he had the page in his possession. And as of right now, all of his pages are inactive. He hasn't had a YouTube video up for a few months, and back when he did, they weren't even made by him. They were made by a dev for TLOPO who recorded it on his own computer with his own voice and uploaded it on Johnny's account. So Johnny's getting views off of someone else's work. I got back in, I met Pearson back with Podco MC. One of his guys contacted me through Twitter to make a trailer, because back then their group was very small. They had done a very, very large amount of work for the small group they were, but they wanted me to make a video to get the word out a little bit more, because they were contacting any YouTuber with a semi-decent audience. And I did it, put it up on my channel. I was really proud. They all liked it. Next day, JohnnyDaPirate uploads my video on his channel. The only credit to me is about 3/4 of the way down of his 4-paragraph description that he has in every video was a link that said creator and then a tiny URL link to my page. No one even knew it was there. My video had, I think, under 100 views, and his had upwards of 10,000. People came on my video and disliked it because they thought I ripped it off of him. But I was initially angry. I eventually let it go because it was better for the group. Paco MC, they got a bigger audience with the video posted on Johnny's channel. So when I made a couple more trailers, I let him do the same thing. I let him upload them on his channel for the betterment of the community. But after him and Paco MC had a falling out, that was pretty much his own fault. He stopped. They had an agreement where they would promote each other, and he didn't hold up his end of the bargain, and he got angry that Paco MC was getting so big. But anyway, he unlisted all of the videos, so the only way you can watch them is if you have a link to his video, which the links to his videos are still up on multiple forums and different Facebook pages. And YouTube, there are links that exist. So when a link goes to that video, he still gets views and money and subscribers from my videos, even though he doesn't support the project anymore. The guy is 14 years old. He's not qualified to run a group like this. I don't know how he wound up in charge of a group like this. If I was one of the developers that worked for him, I would have a big problem working for a 14-year-old. Pearson and his group of friends want to make their own version of Potco, but they don't want to have to rebuild all the code that the Legend of Pirates Online has already done. They would like for that group to share their code to make their own progress easier, because it wouldn't make sense for them to have to pay developers to rebuild something that already exists, something that already works. But losing my train of thought here. When one of the developers for TLOPO did leak source code to Pearson put it on Facebook. He got copyright strikes. They claimed that he stole their code. Facebook believed them because these systems in place on Facebook and YouTube, if you claim you own it, they don't ask for any proof, at least not initially, because they don't want to risk getting in legal trouble themselves. The TLOPO group doesn't own that code. They're rebuilding Disney's code. All the assets, all the artwork, all the models, all the music belongs to Disney. And they don't own it. It's not legally theirs. So it would make sense for them to share it with Pearson and his group. Especially because that's why Toontown Rewritten came back so quickly, because there was more than one group of devs working on it. They shared work with each other. JohnnyDaPirate he's slowly ruining the community. Only less than 1% of what he claims the existing community is. He claims it to be roughly 40,000 people. But less than 1% of those 40,000 people have access to the Legend of Pirates Online Alpha. I've heard on multiple cases that if you get more than 20 or so people on the servers at a time, it will crash. I find this very easy to believe because they don't accept donations, so the amount of money they have going to hosting a server can't be very large, meaning they have a very small, very cheap server host. They've been getting DDoSed very frequently. More than once I've gone to their website only to find it down for whatever reason. After 3 years, they have almost nothing to show. They have sailing, sure. They have fishing, potions, sure. Still don't have barber, still don't have PvP, still don't have privateering. They still don't have any enemies either at sea or on land. They don't have any loot system in place. Well, they do have a loot system in place, but it's only for fishing, and it's not like the full loot system. They still don't have fishing boats. They have accomplished very, very little given the time they had. If they share the code, the game can be out much, much quicker, which we all would love. Well, I suppose that's pretty much it. I'm going to have a few links to videos in the description for Pearson and his videos. And I might not have mentioned it, but Pearson Wright is the head of the Pirates of the Caribbean Online Minecraft group. He is the guy who hosts the Potco Memories Facebook page. He's a pretty big member in this community, but after him and Johnny had a falling out, he was suddenly plagued as this evil devil. Like he was trying to ruin the community when all he was trying to do was save it, and it was the other way around. Johnny's the one who's trying to ruin it. On more than one occasion, he has said that he hates the game. Well, not hates the game, but he doesn't like the game, and he doesn't want to be coding it anymore. And he's the head of the project, which is great. Well, that's about it. I've been rambling long enough. Remember to check the videos in the description. Remember, leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever. To try and be more active lately. But, that's about it. See you guys.